Excellent.
Just wanted to say a few words. It's customary for the best man to say a couple of words. So, first of all, to reiterate what Simon's already said, I'd like to suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that Ellie looks absolutely beautiful today. I'm sure you'll all agree. And my brother looks pretty handsome too. Like I say, it's in the jeans. So, in my opinion, Simon's come a long way since 1987 in particular. Back then, he had a love of Sylvanian families dolls, dolls' houses, My Little Pony, and pink heart-shaped sunglasses.
And we have them here.
Is it true? Simon first met Ellie, as you know, in 2005 at the Eve Club at a night called Button Down Disco in Burlington Street. They finally got together in 2007 and have been very happy ever since. During the 28 years I've had the pleasure of knowing Simon, he's had many different and defining characteristics. Growing up at home, he started out as the youngest child, and then our lovely sister Sarah came along, and so he found himself as an older brother, now occupying the middle child spot. Sarah, Simon and I enjoyed fantastic family holidays together with Mum and Dad, camping and caravanning, and we all had equal measures of tormenting each other and having great fun together, as I'm sure you'll all understand. And these are some of my fondest memories that I know we all share.
Talk about Simon's love of music and his hair in 97.
97.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, as early as we can remember, Simon has had a love for music. You're absolutely right, Sarah. So, at around 10 years old, Simon was a performer and composer as part of his duo with cousin Adam, and together they were the
Rocka-Knockers.
The Rocka-Knockers.
Resurrected.
Now, the Rocka-Knockers had a small Casio keyboard, a tendency towards very cheesy love songs, and were in part inspired by George Michael and Wham. However, despite all of that, they did actually manage to develop a unique and extensive music catalogue, some of which, the lyrics, etc., are still available today if you blackmail Simon or Adam in the appropriate way.
If you're really speaking of Simon's great love for music, you really ought to mention what he used to do on his hands and knees when the headline actor finished at the Glastonbury Festival.
Well, Tom, that's very good of you to mention. I'm not sure if anyone thought that, but Tom, you're absolutely right. So what did Simon used to get up to on his hands and knees after all the excitement of the headline act at Glastonbury? Well, I hear you ask. We're all friends here, I'm sure, so even if Simon would rather I did not tell you, I am going to share a little secret with you anyway. Yes, I am afraid it's true. Simon thought his friends didn't know, but the truth is they knew all along. Now, after all the excitement of the headline act at Glastonbury and other festivals, I'm afraid to say, when everyone else had gone to bed and left that area, Simon would always sneak off on his own, only to be spotted on hands and knees in a frenzy of activity in the mud and darkness in the area immediately in front of the main stage. Suspicious.
Very, very.
This was highly inappropriate behaviour and is not natural. Now, for most people, Glastonbury is actually an expensive weekend.
Money.
Not so for Simon. On hands and knees, he was in fact combing the ground in search of cash and other valuables, with only the moonlight and a Zippo to guide him. Simon had realised he could actually turn quite a tidy profit. Apparently, this proved to be quite lucrative.
It's amazing what you can find.
He once even claimed an Yves Saint Laurent jacket, which I'm told was very nice indeed. However, generous to a fault, Simon would always share his winnings. This included later that evening, when his friends were cold, burning the Yves Saint Laurent jacket as fuel on the campfire. I'm guaranteed this is all 100% true, although, Nico, the jacket might actually have been Ralph Lauren. So, as many of you will know, around the early 1990s, Simon developed into a Britpop and indie music fan with Tom Draper, Nico Wasserman, and other altogether new friends attending pulp gigs and many other venues that resembled, well, public toilets. This was all to my intense horror, as I was personally more into the UK garage, jungle and drum and bass scene, as Simon correctly pointed out at my own wedding when he was my best man with his speech. Well, Simon, you astounded us all with your amazing big box. to demonstrate this, and no, unfortunately, I cannot do a beatbox. And so, to 1997, our beloved Simon was a fully fledged, hormonal teenager of 15 years, and did grow his hair particularly long that year, and in none other than the classic curtains style. At that time, I think someone must have rather unkindly suggested it was an unusual look, and so the result came swiftly. Simon took one of his notoriously firm and decisive actions and proceeded to grow his hair yet longer still, and dyed it in the most alarming shade of blue.
I don't remember that.
We all thought it best not to comment any further to Simon for fear of what colour might come next.
Chelsea blue.
Three sheep, 2 goats,
The story to Wales with 3 sheep in a tent, 2 goats and a chicken bottle of whiskey would be inappropriate for this audience. However, Nico, Simon has always been quite a hit with the ladies. Also he likes to think anyway. In early 2006, Simon got involved with a very challenging and demanding girl. As often was the case, things came to a head soon after, and she turned up at one of Simon's club nights. Now, Simon took her to a quiet area of the nightclub and explained to her that things just weren't working out. This was his standard line, ladies and gentlemen. Now, after the event closed that night, suspicion was aroused when Simon failed to show for the usual cashing up and counting of the profits at his club night. Simon never missed cashing up and counting of the profits at one of his club nights. A sweep of the premises soon resolved the issue. Simon was found, dazed and confused, half-conscious under a pile of coats in the lockers. It transpired the slightly unstable young lady in question had not taken very kindly at all to her pep talk with Simon and quite literally punched his lights out. It's true. She was even seen calmly and quite politely leaving the premises as if nothing at all had happened. Simon, it sounds like you had a very lucky escape to me.
I'm Ellie's older brother. Can you please tell me something about Simon's dedication, the challenges he's had to overcome, and more about his hard work?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Hard work. Simon can be bloody hard work sometimes. But seriously, Simon has a level of dedication that I will tell you about shortly. First, some of the challenges he's had to overcome. Now, as you already know, Simon and Ellie live not far away from here, just round the corner in fact. For those of you that don't know, many of the coolest people in this part of the world, or people that think they're cool anyway, wear tight jeans from the 1980s and McDonald's Happy Meal sunglasses. Now, don't let that put you off, they're all nice people really. Simon has socialised around these parts for many years now and has had to overcome numerous challenges, including people regularly shouting straight at him in the street, "Oi, you think you're Nathan Barley, mate?" You can Google it. Anyway, for Simon's dedication. Simon has been a successful club promoter and bootleg DJ for over 10 years.
Yeah.
All of this whilst holding down a real job of having a maths and statistics degree from Goldsmiths, advancing his career as a highly regarded senior vehicle track modelling analyst at Network Rail, as well as his continued study now for an engineering MBA at Sheffield.
Yeah.
Simon is incredibly supportive of Ellie and her psychology career, including her recent 6-week research and networking tour in Eindhoven. On that note, I know that Ellie continues to work very hard indeed, and this year was successful in achieving an honours in psychology. In fact, she actually received top marks in the year and was awarded the Goldsmith Psychology Prize and also the British Psychological Society Undergraduate Award 2010, so very well done. So Chris, I know that Simon has the drive, commitment, dedication, hard work and ability to overcome challenges that will set him in very good stead for a happy and prosperous marriage. I know they'll continue to work very well together. And so in closing, I'm glad that today has all gone so very well and everyone is clearly having such a good time in celebration of this wonderful occasion. Simon and Ellie have put a lot of personal effort into making today a special day and enjoyable for so many of their friends and family. With all the stress, Simon was actually a little stressed out earlier and got a bit of a headache while we were arranging all of the plans, so he and I took a stroll down the road. There's a Boots just opposite. We went to get some Nurofen. Anyway, whilst in there, Simon asked if I knew why all the condoms came in such a variety of different packets. Strange question, I thought, but let's see where this is going, is what I thought. He asked, what's this 3-pack for? So I explained, that's for when you're at college, Simon. 1 for Friday night and 2 for Saturday night. Oh, I see, he said. So, what on earth is this 6-pack for, he said. So I said, Simon, that's for when you're at university, I told him. 2 for Friday night, 3 for Saturday night, and 1 for Sunday morning. Yes, I remember those days, said Simon. So what the hell is this 12-pack for, he asked, with a confused expression across his face. And so I reassured him, Simon, you haven't missed out on anything at all. The 12-pack is only for when you're married. 1 for January, 1 for February, 1 for March. Simon and Ellie. May your marriage life be full of pleasure. What a great couple. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast. Please fill your glasses, be upstanding to the new Mr. and Mrs. Greenwood. Simon and Ellie. Congratulations.